Hi, welcome to the Future of Infotech. My name is Taylor. This is a channel geared towards helping new grads, those who are burnt out and struggling or laid off in this current tech market. We're going to be interviewing seasoned professionals who have a wealth of experience and knowledge to provide and help those who are going through various changes or just attempting to pivot in this current market. Inside this interview, I will be speaking to GRC Director AJ Yan. We're going to talk about bouncing back from burnout or setbacks, building modern, versatile skills for today's tech market, and how to stay balanced and grow and move forward and stay inspired. If you're interested in my content, please like and subscribe and turn on notifications. My podcast will be out very shortly, so please look out for that. And if you feel like you have something to offer in these interviews, please reach out to me. Without further ado, let's get to the interview.
All of the different aspects of cyber, whether AppSec, IAM, vulnerability management, logging, etc., and ask questions about those activities, depending on which letter of the GRC that you're asking. So yeah, I wouldn't separate them. I would say GRC is a piece of the cyber pie.
Right, got it. And so I'm looking at the cover of your book, GRC Engineering for AWS. Right, a bit about your book, what it covers, what it's actually diving into, and the benefits of maybe somebody that's more junior reading it versus a person that may be a little more senior.
Yeah, so for the junior person, I think the benefit is you're getting a roadmap of what skills you need, what knowledge you need, especially on the technical front, to be successful in GRC. And I think there's an opportunity for junior professionals to enter into this field because there are a lot of existing GRC professionals who are fighting technology. They don't want to learn technology. So if you're a junior professional who shows up and does some of the things I laid out in the book, create your portfolio, show some of your projects, you're going to stand out significantly over people with years and years of experience. And then for the experienced folks, I think, at least for me, one of the motivations for writing the book was that in GRC, it was really difficult for me to find resources that were tailored to the GRC world. Most of the technical resources I would find on AWS were all about either security logging or incident response or infrastructure, networking stuff, which is all important things, right, for GRC. But it's not tailored to how do I use these tools for my job. So I wanted to create a resource for people that are already in it or people that, feel like, yeah, I want to go down that technical journey, but learning programming just seems so big. It seems so. It's like I try to distill that down. So yeah, I hope that especially experienced folks, they understand like the way I wrote it in sections. You don't have to read the whole book. I would like you to, but you don't have to read the whole book. You can read it in sections. You can read section 2, section 3, section 4, whatever that fits best where you're at.
What prompted you to write this type of book?
I mean, yeah. First, it's I get so many requests for mentorship, for people asking me for help, for whatever it may be, right? And I can't reply to everybody. It's impossible. I've created a lot of courses on LinkedIn about this. I teach for the SANS Institute, so I try to do a lot to give back and give out knowledge, but there's just only so much time. And so part of it was like I wanted to figure out a way to put something down on paper of things that I believe are super important and make sure that people could get that information. So like now it's cool because people hit me up and they're like, what should I do? And I'm like, I wrote this book that could tell you exactly what to do and actually give people a resource. So part of it was that like I didn't think there's any resource out there for GRC professionals who are trying to get more technical, specifically for AWS, where I've kind of carved out my path. And I felt I had a lot to say. And I would say if anybody's thinking about writing a book, don't do it unless you have a lot to say, because it's a lot of work for sure.
I can't even imagine. And so I'm always impressed when I see that someone has had enough experience to put into a book. So with that being said, how did you end up in the particular position that you're in now as a GRC director. How did you get there?
Yeah, so I was in the Army for 6 years. Ended up earning the rank of captain. Did some cyber stuff there, but when I got out, I landed at a company called Coalfire, and I was a security consultant at the time. And there's only like 9 of us in this small SOC 2 practice, and I just caught them at the right time. And because it was so small and the company was growing so fast, I got a humongous, great opportunity to really grow with the company. And that exposed me to a lot in the industry and really made me enjoy this GRC space because I learned the importance of it. I learned the ways that I could, make it fun and tap into some of my natural creative abilities. And then after that experience, I started a company in the middle of the pandemic, had some success with that, grew that company pretty well. Was able to go through a transaction and ended up at a top 20 CPA firm where I was building some products in this space. And then now here, and really what I think is my dream job as a director of GRC engineering, because I get to do everything I love every day, which is some of the technical stuff, but also the GRC work. So yeah, I mean, it's a long journey of, I would say in every single aspect of my career, I've just been curious. I've been extremely curious about what I've done and just taking the mindset of I'm never going to know everything, so I might as well just keep learning. So every day I just try to learn something new and find new ways to do things and challenge the norm. It's something that I think is a superpower of mine, that I don't like just doing stuff for the sake of doing it. I want to figure out if there's a better way, and I think that's allowed me to have a ton of success.
And it sounds like you're living the dream, to be completely honest. Not a lot of people get to do what they want to do and get paid for it, right? So, I mean, that's actually a spot to be in. Okay, last few questions, because we have not a long time, but we're going to have a good time here. So, as far as a person that has been in the field for a while, they're going through this layoff situation, they have no idea what to really even do. What would your advice be for someone who is bouncing back from burnout and trying to stay in the game as far as the changes, upskill on AI and other measures? How would you, what advice or direction would you point them at?
A couple things. One, I think burnout is the result of habits that are I would use this time to build better habits around taking breaks and taking space away, because even I see a lot of people that burn out in a job and then they get out of the job and then they try to learn and then they burn out on their learning journey. It gets them back in the field, but they show up at the new job burnt out, and it just kind of starts the cycle again. So I think there's key habits around taking care of yourself that is super important, whether you're studying or having a job, and that's less screen time, sleep schedules. Like, sleep is the biggest performance enhancing drug in the world, and we just don't do a good job as society of sleeping. Sleep is super important, but I would say, like, with the AI stuff, with tech, with all of these things, I think there's two things. We live in a world where it's super easy to do projects without permission, where I think 5 to 8 years ago that wasn't the case. Like, you would have to say, like, hey, can I get this account? Can I get this tool to do these things? And I want to practice, but now you can just do it. So I think the best way to learn is to find very small projects, and don't think that if I start a project today, I got to finish it today. I'm committing 20 minutes to it, 30 minutes, whatever time you want to commit to it. And it's like, I'm going to start this project. I'm going to get as far as I can in these next 20 to 30 minutes. And then I'll take a break and I'll maybe do it again tomorrow. And then I think the aspect that kind of ties this into getting back into the workforce is learning in public, and sharing those projects. I think a lot of times folks try to show up as a finished solution, and no company wants a finished solution. They want somebody that they know will be able to learn and put the work in. And what better way to show that than showing, hey, I'm trying to do this project of standing up this thing on AWS, and I ran into this issue, but I'm going to try again tomorrow. And now over time, I'm seeing, like, wow, this person is the type of person I want to work with, because they they're willing to put the work in. They're willing to go through the mud of learning. So I think I talk about it a lot in the book about portfolios. I gave this example of like if I went to go open up a job posting today, I would get hundreds of applications within an hour. No joke, like hundreds. Now, most of them are going to look the same. I have X amount of years of experience. I have the experience with these technologies. I've done these things. I'm the best person in the world. I've got all the best ratings. Like they're all going to say the same thing. Now, if I'm looking at all these resumes and I come down to these final two, one, again, same experience, same education, same certs, all of that, but one has a bunch of GitHub links to projects that they've done, I'm going to interview that person. If not only just because interviews are draining on me and it's a lot of time, so I want to talk to interesting people. That person seems a lot more interesting than somebody that just has a standard resume. So I think doing projects and then sharing those projects, it's a secret weapon to stand out. Like it just immediately shifts who you are in the, in the space. So that would be my advice.
Because it shows tenacity, right? Don't just tell me you can do whatever, right? So yeah, no, I understand completely.
Yeah.
So projects work. Okay, and so your book is super interesting. What else are you working on?
A lot of
that you
things.
Can talk about?
That I can talk about. I would say I can't talk about a lot of them actually, but I will say I'm building. One of the things that a lot of these technologies have done, and I talk about like the AI technology, just a lot of even the stuff that's happening on the cloud providers has made it easier and easier to build. And I'm naturally a builder. I like building things. I like being creative. So I'm building a lot. I got a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of side hustles. I'm working on 2 new LinkedIn learning courses. That's something I can share. Working on some GRC engineering courses and webinars with the SANS Institute. So people want to learn more about GRC engineering. I'll be doing some stuff with SANS in the next few weeks. So I'm going to be doing a lot of podcasts too over the next 6 months. So you'll probably see me on your favorite cyber podcast here in the next 6 months or so.
Hopefully. Okay, and so this was really, really great. I have 2 more questions. I know I said I had like a few more questions. 2 more questions. Yep. These are like, they're related. Okay. How important would you say writing style would be, and also soft skills would be in this field specifically, or really just I don't like the term break into tech.
Yeah.
But getting into a technical field, getting into the compliance room, how important is it?
Yeah, huge. I think I hate the term soft skills because there's nothing soft about them. I think they're so important in GRC. I would say you need to have just as much, if not more, soft skills than technical skills, because a big part of your job is translating what you do for a living to people that don't care about what you do for a living, and that takes a certain skill set. Same with the writing. You're going to be writing people that don't want to read your email. So how do you keep them engaged? You're going to be writing policies that nobody wants to read. So how do you keep them engaged? So I think writing and speaking skills are a worthwhile investment. I talk about groups like Toastmaster in my book. I talk about just writing blogs just to get the muscle. You got to do it.
Like my content? Want to see more? Did you benefit from this interview? Like, comment, and subscribe.